You cannot stuff American soccer into the U.S. sports model. And that's essentially the dream of the current U.S. soccer establishment. Essentially, our U.S. Soccer Governing Federation is serving as a proxy or a front to the interests of a single company, Major League Soccer, and its marketing arm, Soccer United Marketing. And this current U.S. soccer establishment has been in control since the U.S. won the rights to host the 1994 World Cup, and America was required to formulate a professional league, and naturally, U.S. sports people came in and said, hey, let's create the exact same model in soccer as we have here with our U.S. sports leagues, Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, and Americans won't know the difference. Soccer is soccer, right? It's just entertainment, it's just a game, and eventually all money, all profits in the game will float up to an elite class of billionaire U.S. sports owners. And that's been the effort of U.S. soccer and MLS ever since. But unfortunately, once the genie of authentic global soccer is let out of the bottle, you can't stuff it back in. And ever since the advent of the internet age, the mobile age, and the wide access to television channels from around the world that bring the global authentic game essentially to our fingertips on demand, we have been able to tell the difference between authentic soccer from around the world and inauthentic closed system soccer. There is real meaning to authentic global soccer, real independent unlimited clubs that have the opportunity to go as far as their support and excellence can take them, real consequences for failing to perform, relegation. Literally, your club livelihood is at stake if you don't keep winning year after year. Eventually, you're going to drop into the lower divisions and revenues will go down, and eventually you'll get to a point where your club may cease to exist. So there's unlimited opportunity and real consequences in open soccer, and it means more to supporters. Clubs have a real tribal effect to them. They have real meaning to communities and cities and cultures that the U.S. sports model franchises simply do not have. Yes, they represent a particular location, but just because you are in a location doesn't mean you represent the values of the people in that location. You see a little bit of that in the U.S. sports model, especially over decades and long period of tradition that's established through the fans themselves, but it's nothing in comparison to authentic global soccer, fan connection and support, and also national team fan support. So now that America has been exposed to authentic soccer from around the world, our preference has clearly shown that we want the real version of soccer. 93% of us pay attention to foreign soccer, while only 7% pay attention to Major League Soccer. And that 7% slice here in America is only shrinking. And these numbers are television numbers from the U.S., so the most accurate way we can measure American soccer fan interest. And it's clear the market has spoken. We want authentic open system soccer, but the current U.S. soccer establishment is trying to force down the U.S. sports model down our throats. Just be happy that you've been granted a franchise in your region or city and go support it. And then, of course, there's only, a maximum of 30 franchises in MLS, so Division I eventually is going to be closed, and then what's everyone else going to do? You are supposed to align as minor league teams down the divisions for your major league affiliate. So that's a conundrum MLS is going to have when they ultimately do close off expansion. There are going to be some upset communities all over America when access to Division One is closed off for good. So what's MLS going to do? Are they just going to keep expanding indefinitely? It's going to be a hard model to sustain, particularly as its slice of the U.S. soccer market grows smaller and smaller. The demand for open system promotional relegation soccer is only going to increase. Now there's a movement by fans to make this happen, to put public pressure on our U.S. Soccer Governing Federation, the media, and FIFA to implement an open system of promotion relegation. There are different ways to go about it, but ultimately, U.S. Soccer, our governing federation, could make that decision themselves right now, or FIFA could come in and threaten that U.S. Soccer has to align or be replaced by an alternate American Soccer Governing Federation. So there's multiple ways to go about it. Ultimately, fans just want to speed up the process. I think inevitably we are going to get to an open system. It's just a matter of time. As Americans wise up more and more to the wonders of open access soccer around the world, we are going to continue to wonder why we don't replicate the same thing here and why our U.S. domestic soccer captures almost no interest from American soccer fans. We can do better with our U.S. domestic soccer than what MLS is giving us right now. It's capturing 7%, and that slice is only shrinking. So give it time and give it room to grow. It's only trending downward in terms of the American soccer market as a whole and percentage it captures. So the U.S. soccer establishment is clearly going to double down on trying to get us to agree with a bastardized model of soccer. We know that the essence of soccer is about equality and opportunity for all people and all clubs in America. And we will not stop until the U.S. soccer ecosystem is 100% open from top to bottom. Nothing is more American than the global model of soccer. Nothing is more socialist and anti-American than a few elites controlling Division I at the top and everyone else having to grovel to get a place in Division I alongside them or to get a piece of their pie. So let's get on the right side of history here, America. The more time we waste, the more we will fall behind the rest of the world, and we want to catch up with the rest of the world. We could set the standard for global soccer from a sporting standpoint, for our clubs and our player development, our national team, and also we could have a huge impact on America and the world from a socioeconomic perspective as thousands of new opportunities are created, millions of new opportunities are created, both with jobs and increased GDP for the nation and increased opportunities for our youth through massively increased scouting and player development. We have the chance to do something special here, not just from a sporting history perspective, but from a global history perspective. So let's do the right thing, align ourselves with the wildly successful open system model around the world, and tell our current U.S. soccer leadership that enough is enough. We don't want the U.S. sports model for our soccer. We see the U.S. sports model in action, and yes, those are isolated sports, and they are different than what soccer is. Soccer is a truly global game. You can't try to replicate this success replicate the model of U.S. sports in soccer here, because soccer is truly an open global market that is about equality for all, and that is truly about representing the diverse cultures we have here in America. So put pressure on the U.S. Soccer Governing Federation to reform, and if not, the alternate plan will be to set up a alternate federation and get FIFA to sanction that instead. We need a federation that represents all people, and if this current U.S. Soccer Federation won't do that, if they're only representing a single company like MLS, then they need to be kicked to the curb. It's as simple as that. So if you like this video, make sure to share it out all across your social media platforms, and also make sure to hit the subscribe button below this video. And I'll talk to you soon.